So, I've been using the Apple iPhone 17 for over 10 days now. This video's my personal review of it. Let's start with the box contents. There's not much in there. You get the phone, a charging cable, and a SIM ejector tool. That's it. If you want a charging adapter, you'll need to buy it separately. Now, about the phone itself. The design's pretty much the same as the iPhone 16. Here's the iPhone 16, and here's the iPhone 17. They're almost identical, not much difference. Personally, I like this design. It's got a glass back with a matte finish and an aluminum frame on the sides. Sometimes, though, it feels a bit slippery without a case. So, I'd recommend using one. As for ports and buttons, there's a camera control button, just like on the iPhone 16 series. Click it, and the camera app opens. You can also press it gently to access more options. The thing is, it takes some practice to get used to it. Otherwise, you might just end up using it to snap photos. So, take some time to learn how it works, and then you'll find it useful. On the left, you've got the action button. Older iPhones had a silence button there, but now it's an action button. You can assign any function to it, like opening an app of your choice. You also get a Type-C charging port. But, here's the thing, even now, it only supports USB 2.0, not USB 3. At this price, it's a bit disappointing not to have USB 3 support. On the plus side, the phone has an IP68 rating, which is great. But don't test it by putting it in water, as that could void the warranty. The phone comes with Face ID, and it works just fine. No major issues there. For display protection, you're getting Ceramic Shield 2, which is better than the iPhone 16 Ceramic Shield. Plus, there's an anti-reflective coating on the front, so reflections won't mess with your viewing experience too much. However, if you put tempered glass on it, that coating might not work as well. So, it's up to you. If you want that anti-reflective feature, skip the tempered glass. Personally, I'm not that confident, so I've applied one. The display's a 6.3-inch screen. The iPhone 16 had a 6.1-inch display, but the dimensions are almost the same. The larger screen's possible because they've reduced the bezel size. You can see the bezels are smaller on the iPhone 17 compared to the iPhone 16. Before, base models had thicker bezels, while Pro models had thinner ones. That gap's been narrowed in the iPhone 17 series. Another big upgrade is the 120Hz refresh rate, so scrolling feels smoother. This wasn't in the iPhone 16, so it's a great addition. Whether you're scrolling fast, opening apps, or gaming, you'll notice a better experience. This feature should have come earlier, but it's here now, and it's awesome. Another upgrade is the peak brightness, now at 3000 nits, up from 2000 nits on the iPhone 16. So, in harsh sunlight, you'll have no trouble seeing the screen clearly. There's also an always-on display feature. When you lock the phone, you can still see some info on the screen, which is cool. So, the display's got a lot of upgrades: smaller bezels, higher brightness, 120Hz refresh rate, and always-on display. The gap between base and Pro model displays has shrunk a lot this year. It's a highlight of the iPhone 17. For content viewing, the Super Retina XDR OLED display delivers a great experience. Watching videos on YouTube or other apps feels awesome. The colors are natural, and it supports 4K HDR video playback and Dolby Vision. So, on Netflix, you'll get HDR and Dolby Vision support, which is great for content viewing. Another key thing is the speakers. The speakers are loud and clear, with really good quality. For content viewing, the combo of a nice display and great speakers is perfect. As for performance, you're getting the A19 Bionic chip, which is super powerful. In tests, it scores over 2.2 million on Antutu, 1667 on ThreadMark with an average of 12.4 FPS, and great CPU and GPU scores on Geekbench. In real-world use, I did a speed comparison video between the iPhone 17 and iPhone 16, links in the description. The iPhone 17 performs better, especially in video editing and exporting. It's also great for gaming. Gaming feels smooth, and with the 120Hz refresh rate, games supporting 90 or 120 FPS run beautifully. The iPhone 16 didn't have this, so it's a big plus. I didn't notice major heating issues, just a little warmth, but nothing serious. Compared to the iPhone 16, it's better in this regard. Calls, video calls, and Wi-Fi worked fine, no issues. Unlike the iPhone 16's Bluetooth 5.3, this has Bluetooth 6.0 and an N1 chip for better connectivity, which is a nice addition. For software, you're getting iOS 26 with a glass-like design. I personally like the iOS 18 design, but that's just me. Let me know in the comments, do you prefer iOS 18 or iOS 26? It also supports Apple Intelligence features. The software is smooth, but I hit a few bugs. Once, my phone wouldn't unlock after entering the passcode, it kept locking again after a few seconds. This lasted 5 to 10 minutes, and I thought it was done for. Luckily, it was fine after that, and I haven't had the issue since. On to the cameras. You've got a dual setup on the back with a 48MP main sensor and a 48MP ultrawide lens, upgraded from the 12MP ultrawide on the previous model. The front's an 18MP selfie camera, up from 12MP. There's also a cool center stage feature for the selfie camera. Just tap a button, and you get a wider field of view without moving the phone. We did a detailed camera comparison between the iPhone 17 and 16, links in the description. The iPhone 17's camera performs better, with sharper details and much better HDR and light control. Video recording's also improved over the iPhone 16, especially in light control. Overall, you're getting a great camera experience. For battery, it's a 3692 mAh unit. I did a battery test video, check the description for the link. The iPhone 17 gets better screen on time than the iPhone 16. In my test, I played YouTube videos for 2.5 hours, recorded video for 2.5 hours, played heavy games for 2 hours, and made calls for 2 hours. I got 9 hours of screen on time, compared to 8 hours on the iPhone 16. Charging-wise, it supports 40 watts fast charging, but I'm using a 20 watts charger. It takes about 45 minutes to go from 20% to 90%, which is better for the battery. Full charging takes around 1.5 hours with a 20 watts charger. It also supports 25 watts wireless charging. For normal users, you'll easily get a day's charge. Heavy users might need to top up at night. Overall, the battery's decent. So, that's my review. Pricing-wise, in India, it's about 82,000 Indian rupees, and globally, it's around $799 or 799 euros. At this price, it's a solid option. Also, unlike the iPhone 16's 128GB base model, this starts at 256GB, so it feels like a price reduction. If you're looking for an iPhone in this range, it's one of the best choices. There are some Android options, but for iPhone fans, this is great. The display gap with Pro models is smaller, thinner bezels, 120Hz refresh rate, higher brightness, plus solid performance, great cameras, especially for video, and decent battery life. Some nice upgrades are in there too. In conclusion, I'm happy with this phone. It's a good upgrade from last year's model and a solid pick at this price. That's all for this video. Hope you found it helpful. If you did, please subscribe. See you in the next one.